Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Bad Guy Ibra, aka Ibrahim. I'm your favorite Gambian, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm pretty sure I'm slightly late in this particular news, but Jorge Masvidal, as we know, game-bred Jorge Masvidal has actually been arrested by, I think, the Miami Police Department or some police department in America for, assaulting Colby Covington. I mean, the current number one ranked UFC welterweight champion, Colby Covington. And recently, as we are aware, at UFC 252, 53, I think, when Masvidal fought Colby Covington, I mean, they fought. Like, literally, the two guys fought. So I'm confused on why Jorge Masvidal would then attack Colby Covington. I know that the rivalry was innate. The rivalry was there, to be honest, and the hate was there. But, the fight was done and dusted. You know what I mean? So how it all really transpired was that Colby Covington had actually went out. I think it was a bar or somewhere at a nightclub with the Nelk boys. And, they was having a good time. And I'm pretty sure Colby or someone might have posted the location. And Jorge Masvidal, just being who he is, he then turned up to the location to fight Colby Chaos Covington, right? And when he approached Colby, from what I heard, he actually managed to sucker punch Colby Covington. And he'd mentioned many, many times that he's going to break Colby's teeth, right? And he did. So basically assaulted Colby Covington, outside a nightclub somewhere in Florida, right? So which was awful, to be honest. But I just kind of want to give my 2 cents or my perspective on it, to be honest. I think... regardless of what people think about Colby Covington, right? Regardless of what people think about Colby Covington, we all can have opinions about our people, but we watched Colby Covington fight Masvidal. Colby Covington dominated Masvidal from round one to round 5. He just totally outclassed the game bred. If Masvidal had so much anger, which he did against Colby Covington, he had the opportunity to sort that out inside the octagon, which he just failed to do. He failed to do because, I mean, going into the fight, I kind of suspected that Colby was going to win, and he's going to win primarily because of his wrestling, right? He's going to dominate. And he did. I mean, I had it 50-44 for Colby Covington. I gave Colby every single round, and I think I gave him a 10-8 round. I think in the 4th round, he just totally outclassed Masvidal. And, I think as a professional fighter, you have to respect that. Like, your opponent just dominated you. Regardless of the amount of trash that he talks, he still beat you up, right? So approaching him in the street, right, and just punching him, like, it's not the right thing to do. So I think Colby Covington, and it's been announced recently that Colby Covington had actually pressed charges on the game-bred Jorge Masvidal. He actually had pressed charges against Masvidal. And... there's some sort of MMA fighters or fighters within the MMA community who are like, oh, well, they're totally against it because when Masvidal sucker punched Leon Edwards, like, he didn't press charges. But I think regardless of how you see things as well, I don't think we should ever encourage people to go out and start sucker punching people for no reason. As I've mentioned earlier, Jorge Masvidal had the opportunity to beat Colby Covington inside the octagon, and he failed miserably. Literally, the octagon is just the two of them fighting, right? So every anger that he had against Colby Covington, he had the opportunity to sort it out inside the octagon, and he failed miserably. So his best option is to go out and sucker punch Colby Covington. And although a lot of people will call Colby Covington like a cop caller or whatever the hell they called him, but I totally agree with Colby Covington in pressing charges against Masvidal. I just do, mate. I'm not apologizing for that. I just agree with Colby Covington pressing charges. Now, Leon Edwards might be a different person when he punched him. Because if Masvidal had... because I'm from England, right? If Leon Edwards would have pressed charges against Masvidal back in 2019 when he punched him, Masvidal probably would have never been able to get into England again. That's the thing, right? So, Leon Edwards kind of put that into consideration and he was like, you know what, allow it. Whereas Colby Covington, on the other hand, he was doing nothing. He was just out there having a good time. And Masvidal attacked him, broke his, watch his Rolex. Well, this is not a Rolex, but broke his Rolex and literally snapped his tooth as well. So his watch cost about 90k. So if someone would have done that, I would have 100% pressed charges against that person. I'm sorry, I'm not apologizing for that, but I just agree with Colby Covington pressing charges against Masvidal. I just do, mate. I mean, if you think you're like that bad, you think you're a street thug, right? you had the opportunity. You had 25 minutes with the guy inside the octagon. 25 minutes against Colby Covington with all the hate, with all the animosity, with all the anger going into the fight, and you still failed miserably. And then try to attack the guy when he's not looking. The guy was literally wearing a suit. Like, the guy's wearing a white suit. He's not ready. He was not ready to fight. And, like that, I actually came across I came across the video on Instagram, I think it was, because he went out with the Nelk Boys. So Nelk Boys, if you don't know, so like YouTubers, they used to do pranks, but now they've got a podcast where they just sit down and just have conversation or interview people like Dana White and just random people out there. I'm pretty sure they've had Mike Tyson, they had Dana White, and they had Donald Trump as well. So they just it's almost like the Joe Rogan podcast, but with multiple hosts basically. So it was out there with them, in Florida, just having a good time, and the game break turned up. So yeah, I mean, he's been arrested and his bail had been set, I don't know, like $15,000. I'm not sure what the actual amount is, to be honest, but I think it's really down to Colby Covington. I don't think the MMA community should really get involved in trying to pressure Colby Covington not to press charges or trying to bully him because he pressed charges. I think he's done the right thing. If I was assaulted by someone for no reason and they broke my teeth in half, right, or snapped it, and broke my watch, which cost $90K. For no reason. I recently had a fight with that guy in the octagon, and he had the opportunity to beat me up and he failed miserably. I would have guaranteed press charges. So I think it's important for us as well to be able to see things from the perspective of Colby Covington rather than Jorge Masvidal, or our perspective as a society where we just are just blatantly out there calling people a snitch. Bro, Masvidal punched Colby Covington. He assaulted him. What do you expect? I mean, Colby's not going to always encounter Masvidal, like, on a day-to-day basis where he can get revenge. So his best form of revenge is to press charges against the guy. Literally, that's his best form of revenge. So he assaulted the guy and Colby pressed charges, right? What is wrong with you lot? You know what? I mean, get it together, man. Seriously. So certainly I support Colby Covington, and he's a great fighter, to be honest. And, without Kamaru Usman really in the welterweight division, I certainly certainly believe that Colby Covington would be the undisputed UFC welterweight champion of the world. A guaranteed, dude. He's just too good. It's just that Usman is just a little bit better. Usman is just above Colby, just a little bit, but Colby's just like literally right second. So if Usman was not there, Colby Covington guaranteed will be the undisputed welterweight champion by a huge margin. So it's Usman, Colby, and then everyone else down there, dude. Colby is just too good. Yes, he might talk a lot of trash. He might have insulted every single person within the MMA community, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he's a really, really competitive fighter. He's a really good fighter. Don't let that real clownery or him wearing sort of like white suits and red or pink suits fool you. The guy can fight, dude. He can fight. And yeah, Masvidal did realize that inside the octagon. Tyron Woodley did also realize the same thing. Rafael dos Anjos, Damian Maia, bro, he left Damian Maia in a pool of his own blood in Brazil. So the guy is really good. Robbie Lawler, he totally dominated the Gazer, to be honest, in 2019. So I'm totally in support of Colby Covington for this particular incident, to be honest. And people like Corey Anderson or people within the MMA community might not like Colby Covington. I understand, because if you look at Colby Covington when he posts a picture, yes, he does get a lot of likes, but you don't really see people you follow from like the MMA community liking the picture, right? So you can tell that they have something against the chaos Colby Covington, but I've got your back, Colby. I really support you, mate. I just do, mate. I think you should not apologise for shit. You just should not. But, Colby's character, he's not really going to apologise anyway. I'm not the person to say that. He's not going to do it. So I totally support him. And I think you lot especially need to get your shit together, not going to lie. It's like all this whinging and all this crying about why is he pressing charges, why is he stitching, like, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, just get it together. Like, just grow up, mate. Honestly, I think he's done the right thing to press charges anyways. Dude, I'm sorry, but if someone assaults me and breaks my property and I am not going to encounter that person as frequently, right? What's the best way to punish that person? Obviously, to press charges against the fucking geezer, right? Really, that's the best way to do it. And Colby Covington did the right thing. Let's stop whinging. Let's stop crying. Let's accept the fact, ladies and gentlemen. But I think an critically important part of this thing is your perspective on it, to be honest. As you know, my audience is on YouTube. I think, I just want to hear your side. What would you have done if some random guy that you don't like assaulted you, and you know that you're not going to encounter the person frequently, but you've got the opportunity to punish them and make them pay for damages? Would you press charges? I would have. So I just want to know your perspective as well. I mean, if your friend assaults you and you want to sort out, you want to know how, why he did it, then maybe you might not press charges because that's your friends. But Colby and Masvidal aren't friends. They are not. These people absolutely hate each other. Like, they do. Like, what is wrong with you people? I want to hear your perspective, though, to be honest. Like, I just do. Right. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like this video, comment down below with your notification bells turned, and also subscribe, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, subscribe with notification bells turned, and comment, you know what I mean, and just give your perspective, because as much as I've got a different perspective about this particular incident, I do want to hear your perspective as well, as an audience to my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. So I do really appreciate you lot taking the time watching this video and the support that you've been showing to this channel. Although it's substantially a small channel on YouTube, to be honest, but I'm just grinding, doing my best, trying to just be successful in YouTube, to be honest. It's not the easiest being a small YouTuber trying to learn the game, trying to understand MMA. I mean, I'm not like the most. I love MMA, but I'm speaking from love. I understand MMA. I understand the sport of boxing, really, but I'm just speaking more from passion and love rather than sort of being an expert who's really been inside the octagon, because I haven't, you know what I mean. But from my perspective right here, I certainly believe that Colby Covington was right to press charges against Jorge Masvidal. I really believe that, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. But again, I think I just want to take the time to thank you really for watching this video. Make sure like, as I've mentioned earlier, comment down below with your notification bells turned on, really. And I think I'm gonna be more consistent now, basically, in posting my content for growth, really. Because what I notice is that maybe posting 1 week, a content a week, really, it's not gonna cut it. But posting more videos more frequently, I think that's gonna be more sort of like, that's gonna help more than anything else, to be honest. But I really appreciate you lot taking the time, and until next time, peace.